Hey, everybody, it's the Coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see Big Ben Roethlisberger, and the Pittsburgh Steelers as they take on last year's #1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, and the upstart Cleveland Browns. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. The Browns ready to go to work here on offense, and their man behind center, well, that's Baker Mayfield, the #1 overall pick last season, who set a rookie record with 27 touchdown passes. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Point it right, point it right, point it right.
From the gun, Mayfield forced out to his left and incomplete to open things up. Let's meet the offense. Greg Robinson. Very, very talented.
What a man to set your offensive line with. Greg Robinson can do it all. Tremendous athleticism, great strength, just coming into his own.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Mayfield looks to throw. And incomplete. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They've been pretty good against the pass. Not amazing, but good. Number 13 in the league.
I think if you talk to their head coach, you'll get a nice answer about how much he likes his team and what they're doing. But at the end of it, he would admit there's definitely room to improve.
Run. Hey, Alpha. Check 55 to mine. Check. I got it.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. He finds Beckham complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double-team him somehow. I'm going to have to make some...
Pressure comes, and down goes Baker Mayfield. Devin Bush in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
After the sack on 1st down, Mayfield, and he rifles it complete, caught by Landry.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, You've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Well, it didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. They'll try to throw here. Mayfield, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. He was trying to get it to his tight end, David Njoku, and it's 3rd down.
Watch 98. Watch 98. 98's the mic.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. David Njoku hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there, that nice opening drive, because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Steelers' all-time leading passer and 2-time Super Bowl champ Ben Roethlisberger ready to lead this offensive unit. And he's led them since his rookie year all the way back in 2004. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Check three.
Play fake to Connor. Now Roethlisberger. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Check three.
This is a guy who made a Pro Bowl in his 2nd season, James Conner. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back.
Monday, Black 80.
On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. Vance McDonald, the tight end, was the target. That'll bring up 2nd down. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
In the center for Pittsburgh, Marquise Pouncey, one of the most physical and agile players at his position in the league. A 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. He's a keystone of one of the top offensive lines in the league.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it's going to be third down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Able to find Switzer. A 3rd down gain of 19.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jannard Avery has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the number 1 seed.
And
Odell Beckham Jr., 30, the 20, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, 80. And the Browns are able to strike quickly for 6. And again, it's no good. A few boo birds coming out as he's missed his 2nd extra point here in the first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start with a give to Connor, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Roethlisberger. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
One-handed. Love the effort. Not much production on that play, though, huh?
Not a whole lot of yardage. You get that grab, you probably want a 1st down.
And he'll be the one in the film session if he's saying, hey, run that one back, coach.
Yeah.
Run that one back.
One more time.
Let's see that
2
again.
more time.
And they won't.
8 more times.
They won't. Didn't get much out of it.
And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again. Just like last week, each game is its own entity, treated as such.
12-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. On to the 2nd from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Mayfield over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
We just saw a nice example of why teams often bring in baseball guys to teach quarterbacks how to slide in key situations. You want to protect your franchise guy. Make sure he doesn't get hurt. He did exactly that on that play. A perfect slide to avoid the big hit and pick up a first down.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. They'll run with Hunt on second down. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. The quick slant caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham, his second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
And a short kick, taking it about the 16. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy. Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Mayfield, they'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it. But it's second down.
Joe Hayden on the coverage.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Alert, 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 alert. Point it right, point it right, point it right.
Throwing, Mayfield. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 44 yards. What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
Now, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. One, get some oxygen to fill up your lungs a little bit. And number 2, talk to your guys up front. You need a pass rush to help slow them down.
A good pickup there, a 22.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, it was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jalen Strong, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally... explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They start the drive with Connor. Denzel Ward, the number 4 pick in the 2018 draft, making the tackle from his corner spot.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A gain there of 21 yards. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. T.J. Carey right there in coverage.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept. It's caught at the 10. 39 yards there. A big one. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50%. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jannard Avery in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Here we go.
On third and goal, Roethlisberger. On the left side, it's McDonald. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. Fourth and goal.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Boswell's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Boswell signed to a 4-year deal prior to last season, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, do you think that they saw 13 of 20 when they signed him to a 4-year deal?
Not at all.
He needs a big bounce back in 2019 if he wants to see the end of that contract.
There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and CD in a minute. First, it's time to take a look at what we've got coming your way this weekend in the NFL. Some good games to look forward to in the early window, especially the one in Baltimore. A big one coming up for the Ravens as they'll square off against the visiting Houston Texans. Good stuff to follow on the West Coast in the afternoon window, one being out in Oakland, where it'll be the Raiders taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, a matchup that we nearly saw in the playoffs last year, Bears and Rams from Los Angeles. In the game you're watching has been Baker Mayfield with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The lake effect snow set to continue for the second half of action as we are back underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. On second down now. It's Connor, and they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one 28 yards on the ground.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
Now the man from nearby Columbus, Ohio, Benny Snell. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it first and goal.
And we tend to give those running backs that are slashers a lot of credit, but how about guys who are maulers? Because that's what you want in short yardage situations.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Conner. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone, and that cuts the lead a bit further. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
11 yards there, first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, they'll run with Hunt. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Landry again, the intended target, and it's third down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills, you want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Antonio Callaway, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. He's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minutes. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
They go play action here on first down. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. 22 yards there, a first down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. I love that play because in the snow you think run, run, run. Big passing play there.
And defenders hate it, especially in open space, because trying to come under control, break down, and make a tackle in the open field, difficult in normal conditions. In these conditions, almost impossible.
Now this throw caught left side. Oh, and now some space to operate. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it would be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time.
That is caught. It's Juju for the Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. And a pause in the action because the booth.
Pass complete to Juju Smith-Schuster. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Chris Boswell on for the point after.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. The point after, no gimme in the snow, but it's up and good. And that will get them one closer. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge. Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there and a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
They'll run on first down. It's Hunt, and no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
They'll run it with Johnson. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Over the middle of the backer. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball.
And the ball is knocked out, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, two-score game, so hold on here, not done in the fourth. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Roethlisberger will throw. Shakes off the sack. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Christian Kirksey. Excellent job on that play. A big loss. 18 yards.
I remember throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. And they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
He's passed. Now been hit, and he lost the football. It's loose. And this is picked up by the Browns. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. It's a short kick, taken at the 15. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. There's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, four in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
A boost here to start the drive after the penalty. It's 1st and 5. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A gain of 13, it's a first down. And the reception made by Dante Moncrief. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Jannard Avery racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Roethlisberger. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Browns are going to win the football game.
180! Regular! Switch it. Come on. Up. Alert 3.
On first down, punt. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was Baker Mayfield who led the way, the #1 pick in 2018. He showed why he was so coveted.
And it was interesting because you remember headed into the draft in 2018, the projections on where Baker Mayfield was going to go, it varied. But rarely did anyone suggest he would go #1 overall. And he did. Showed exactly why. It's not just how he plays. It's not just his arm and his vision. It's the leadership. It's the toughness. It's the moxie that he exhibits. And his teammates just feed off of it.
So for Cleveland, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it was a game they really needed as they drop back to 4-6. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.